Referee today, video referee, if and when required, is Liam Moore. And it's going to be Jack Gatcliffe who will get things underway here. We'll try and tell you as much as we can about these young players. Jack Gatcliffe, one of those who made his debut last September, an ex-Rochdale player who is a goal kicker as well. So he'll be hoping that he gets a pot or two conversions or penalties at goal as the night goes on. So Gatcliffe gets us underway with that big kick downfield, and St Helens will have first touch of the ball here and the first physical challenge, and not shirked by the hooker Finn Yates, the number 41. He got himself right in there, didn't he, Finley Yates?
Yeah, and the best thing there was he wasn't alone. There was 3-4 of the Salford defenders in there to meet St Helens on the first tackle, and they'll need plenty of that tonight.
Well, there is a scattering of youth in there, one or two a little more senior, but lacking experience. Difficult week for St Helens because they will have planned again. They will have got a game plan together for a side they expected to face, and that's just gone out the window now. And is there a danger that they may take this task too lightly?
Well, I don't think so, not based on last year and how they wanted to come out in 2025. It was underwhelming, to say the least, from them last year. But the best thing about round one, so many coaches talk about a focus on us, a focus on what we're doing. Let's get our season started, and let's hope that is the case for Welland's crew this evening.
Well, every game so far seems to have been a showcase, doesn't it, for the game? And can these Salford players make this another of those? Well, early chance to get hands on the ball. That goes Yates out of dummy half. He did actually play for Wales last year against Jamaica back in October of last year at the Knoll, so a little bit of senior experience, if not at club level. The kick is not going to be a 40-20. It's still a decent kick. Gives St Helens possession, 15 from their own line here.
Yeah, and Kai Morgan finding touch there off the back of a tough set coming out of their own end. And this evening you wonder if that may even become a tactical ploy, just to slow things down, wind some time off the clock, because this side, who are predominantly reserve players, fatigue's going to set in at some point.
Yeah, the only what you'd term experienced players on the bench: Joe Bullock, Jackie Chan and Ben Helliwell. Just three, to reiterate, just three named on the bench. They had young McCurry named in the 17, but he's injured, and they haven't got an 18th man named. So they are literally running on the bare bones, and they are being tested here as well, as Knowles just gets St Helens inside their opponent's half for the first time. Sailor quick hands, Wellesby out to this right-hand side, and a first touch for Kyle Felt. Like-for-like replacement for Tommy Makinson, who comes, of course, with so much experience from the NRL. Last play to go. Wellesby with a little chip over the top, but back safely. It's taken. Wagstaff giving his side possession back again. He's one of the older ones as well, Jack Wagstaff. I think he's 26 years of age. He's not knocking around a while. But the test here for the Salford youngsters is getting off their line, isn't it?
Yeah, and we can see here is Sailor in amongst the defensive efforts, asking a lot of questions of this young Salford crew to come out. Still can't manage to get off their try line.
Gathered up by Yates. Look back towards the middle again, but look how little ground they've made in 5 tackles. The sheer physicality and the hunger of this Saints defence, making it so difficult. Gatcliffe gets the kick away. St Helens will return it with a little bit of interest. Lewis Murphy, we're excited for him this year, aren't we? He was such an exciting player at Wakefield before he went to the NRL. Yeah,
incredibly exciting to see him back. Obviously went across down under. Didn't get a game in the NRL, but he returns an incredibly exciting player and a wonderful finisher.
This is Clark at dummy half. St Helens poised. Knowles looks round, and here's Walmsley with a big effort. long-term, longish-term deal as well for Alex. Before this season began, Clark goes left. The push is hard. Lees is going to try and twist, but he's held up. Some eager defence going on.
Yeah, and you have to take your hat off as you see them come together. A few pats on the back there. They're going in numbers. There's desperation.
And they come again. And this is a spring and a try. Opening try of the night. Referee's having a look and points the finger. And Morgan Knowles, who against this opposition had his testimonial just a few weeks ago, is a try scorer in the opening minutes, and they will hope setting a pattern here.
Yeah, it was Morgan Knowles that ends up barreling over from 10 metres out. We see their numbers in the tackle, but they just fall off too easily, and he slams that ball down. But it all came back to the defensive effort. Only one set to go. They managed to keep Salford with only a gain of probably 5 metres, and you can certainly attribute that try to those efforts only minutes ago. Morgan Knowles gets his first try of 2025 with the kick to come. Percival, a great boot from him last year.
Well, he only managed 2 tries in the whole of the last campaign, Morgan Knowles, so he's halfway there to matching that already with 5 minutes of a new season played. This is Mark Percival celebrating his 13th season at St Helens this year. Back with the kicking duties, and he's put it where it needs to be put. And St Helens lead here by 6 points to 0.
Yeah, and it was decent efforts, sporadic efforts of defence from Salford. As we see Coach Paul Rowley in the stands, alongside him his support staff. I'll be interested to know how deeply they analyse this game this evening.
Well, they've got a home game against Leeds next week, Salford. Their season opener at home. And they'll be very much hoping that the deal has gone through and ratified then for the new owners, so that they can get their first team out. But they're having to endure this one at the moment. Percival goes back on the inside. Here comes Tristan Saylor. Just about dragged down, but he has support. And still they have an opportunity for Murphy on that left flank. And on his debut will score his first Super League try back in the Northern Hemisphere. St Helens already threatening to rampage through the opposition. 2 tries in the blink of an eye takes them to 10 points to 0.
Yeah, and as quickly as the ball got back in their hands on the very first play, it was Tristan Saylor who shifted it hard out to the left. As we see here, big shift out to the left-hand side, looking at that open space as the Salford defence looked to tighten. Terrific support play back through the middle, kept it alive, kept his elbow off the ground. And here he is. We spoke about his acrobatics and his finishes, not required on that occasion, but brilliant nonetheless from the St Helens left-hand edge. And this is what they signed him for. They struggled last year with points at times, didn't they? But already there's hints of what could be to come in 2025.
Lewis Murphy, the scorer, 8 minutes played, 10 points to 0. Kick to come from Percival on that far side. Salford players for the second time in the game behind their sticks, contemplating what has just hit them. There are targets in mind, and I suspect there aren't, but that 64-0 that Wigan rattled against a similarly weakened Salford side last year, maybe this bunch of youngsters is hoping to improve on that. And I wonder whether secretly St Helens are thinking, well, if our local rivals put 64 on them, maybe we need to go better than that. Percival's kick is wrong side of the crossbar, so it remains at 10 points to 0.
Yeah, and it's been a quick start straight out of the blocks here, showing no mercy, St Helens. And as you can see there, the Salford defence we mentioned earlier, no surprises that they condensed in defence, trying to get numbers in there, but it unfolded on them. And the speed of the outside backs of St Helens, all too good to pounce on the opportunity that presented itself. And it was Murphy who opens his account.
So Gatcliffe with the restart, safely patched by Saylor. Leads the challenge, leading the charge.
Move together, Salford! Stay with me on the 10, stay!
Well, back-to-back they've gone so far. Can they go back-to-back-to-back? Certainly a handful in these early carries for the young Salford players. Yards being made.
Third. Move now, Wilsey!
3 gone, and Knowles is not that far away from the halfway line. By tackle 4, they should be inside their opponent's half, and they are.
6 again, 2 more.
And it'll be another set of 6, set restart. Too slow in the tackle. Here's Wormsley.
First. Move, Logan!
Setting a platform.
Go on.
Wilsby's run to this right-hand side, and Saylor has gone right through the middle of them. And he's another debutant with a try to his name. Has surged back towards the 6 to make the kick easy. It is 3 tries now in the space of 5 blistering minutes from St Helens. 14-0.
And it was in desperation to try and slow that ruck down that the infringement was given. And on the back of that, a set restart in terrific territory. And there he is, Tristan Saylor. We've been waiting to see it. Gets on the outside of his opponent, pins the ears back. Didn't ground the ball and advances it straight back inside for his try, first Super League try in the Red V. How exciting for St Helens to have a young standoff come in with speed like that.
Yeah, I mean, whatever the opposition, that was a real burst, wasn't it? A real burst of energy.
Yeah, you have to love a halfback who spots half a chance, half an opportunity, a small window, and just absolutely take it. And take it he did, as Percival lines up for his 3rd attempt in a matter of 12 minutes.
3 tries, 3 different try scorers so far. Percival's landed 1 out of 2, looking to make this a 2nd success. Not the biggest of run-ups to that, didn't need to be. Over it goes. 16 points to 0 with only 12 and a bit minutes played. Ominous.
Yeah, and in that 12 minutes that has been played, you can see the Salford defence. They are trying to put a shift in. They are trying to control that ruck. But on that occasion, it goes against them, and young Tristan Saylor looking to make a name for himself. Get out from under the feet of his father.
Well, that restart has gone straight out, and that is something Salford simply cannot afford. We're already in the territory of how many points. That is the interesting factor here today, isn't it? How many points can St Helens score? Will records... We've seen the lowest scoring game in Super League this weekend on Thursday night. We might be getting close to the highest scoring.
Well, potentially we feel like it's a cricket match by the end of the game. The way it has started and the patterns that are already on show. As we see St Helens, they'll restart it with only 30 metres out from the try line.
Well, we saw a football score on Thursday, a cricket score here today. In between those, we've had some conventional rugby league scores as well. What a start to the new season. Nothing if not fascinating for lots of different reasons. And here they go again, and it's a saunter to the line. Curtis Sirenan, on this his 200th career appearance, is the latest to cross that line. And this is almost cruelty personified. The ease with which St Helens are scoring. 14 minutes played. It started in the 5th. So in 9 minutes, they have scored 4 tries.
Well, and I think they can only blame themselves, particularly off the back of this kick that found itself over the sideline. And it was a great ball there from Lomax, finding Sirinen, who spent so much of the end of last year on the sidelines after that injury in Magic, slices his way through, kicks off the left, and again advances it in for Percival, who will be licking his lips at the opportunities for goal kicking this evening. As we see the St Helens staff, Wellens up there.
Well, they'll not. I mean, I was going to say there were no smile amongst the Salford coaches. There's not a lot of smiling there. They're not going to take a lot of enjoyment out of this, are they?
Well, no, I don't think it's a game that you will necessarily enjoy, particularly after we saw what happened in the friendly at the start of the season. Salford 40-12. It was a dominant display, perhaps expecting something of a similar contest here this evening.
And over it goes. 3 out of 4, 22 points to 0. I mean, it is only the first weekend of the season, Courtney, so I'm not going to get carried away with this, but we know that the potential is for a very tight Super League this year, where points difference is going to be a crucial factor, probably. This is a day when St Helens can create a points difference that might make them untouchable in that regard later on in the year.
Well, it's always something that you tend to think about towards the end of the season, the latter rounds. So we see another storming run there from Lees. But to set yourselves up at the start of the year in round 1 is an absolute blessing for St Helens.
22-0, 22 points without Salford laying hand on ball. Well, there's been the dominance. Referee just shouting that the markers weren't square. Lewis Murphy comes bucking back towards the middle of the field, looking for the inevitable gaps amongst what is already a fatiguing Salford defence, because they have had so much work to do already. Wellesby puts the kick in. Batchelor chasing, but it's dropped on and claimed by Nathan Connell, and a cheer from the Salford fans because their side finally get their hands back on that ball.
Yeah, and for the first time in the last 5 sets, they're able to get to the end of it. It was a young Connell who was able to jump on that ball. As we saw earlier, they may have it back in hand, but the Red V are certainly going to make it difficult for them to come out of their end. But all they can ask for right now is a completed set and get a decent kick away and try and find some territory over the other side of halfway.
Here's Yates, spinning it back, a kick downfield. Was behind the 30-metre mark, but that doesn't matter because it's caught safely enough by Wellesby again, who's challenging. A hint of a highish tackle from Lucas Cohen, the centre. One of the 8 in the 16 making their debuts today.
Jack, you've got to stay with me, come on. Tackle 2, hold. Stage on, go.
Here's Saylor.
Lucas, quicker.
This is Clark offering it on again for Knowles.
Third, move now, square, find us.
Joe Bullock's come on the field, by the way,
Come on, John.
for Salford. So a little bit of an older head.
4, out, John. John, get square, tackle 4. Stay.
2 plays to go for St Helens.
4. Yeah, I've got them on the left-hand side.
Wellesby into Walmsley.
5, move, get in.
Walmsley held down, 8 away.
Stay.
Clark, dummy, and goes, and still going. He's a handful, but he's not going to get the ball down, I don't think. No, he's not. Jack Smith right on the spot, the referee. Back 10 for another go. And Salford defenders congratulating. It's good to see that spirit. The Salford defenders really congratulating themselves for denying that try.
Yeah, they're certainly vocal down there, and great to see them here in numbers today. Their players are going to need every bit of that support as we go through this game here at Totally Wicked. Through thick and thin, they say.
Move! Stay with me, 6.
Well, they've had plenty of thin over the last few months, haven't they, Salford fans? Jackie Chan, of course, with that last carry, he's on for the interchange bench as well. I mean, they've done it tough. Whatever's been going on in the directors' rooms and the ownership of the club, the genuine fans on the street have really had a tough time of it, not knowing what the future of their club was going to be. Even if their club had a future, well, the light seems to be on at the end of a very long tunnel, but it has yet to be ratified. And in the meantime, they're watching these youngsters try and put on as brave a performance as they possibly can. This is Yates spinning it back. Kick is high, and that's going to bounce, and that could go anywhere. And fortunately, from Felt's point of view, it's into his hands, and again, he's proving a handful, robust and rugged.
Again, we see Salford get to the end of their set. It was a scrappy kick, but it found the grass in front of Kyle Felt. And as you said, all you can ask of these Salford youngsters is a brave effort this evening.
Straight out of there, Finn! Ben, here to me, mate.
Lees carries it forward. Clark out of dummy half. Lomax to his left-hand side. Goes back. Wellesby pops it over the top. And here again comes Lewis Murphy. And Murphy's got the try line in sight. Skips it back. It's with Wormsley. And Wormsley could take some stopping, but he rolls it back again. And hammered in by Sirenham. And Sirenham put down. And a penalty. Well, we do know they're not going to kick a goal. Tap and go. Tap and go. Wormsley again. Lees, his brother in arms in that front row. Darrell Clark. Little dance right from him. Saylor puts the kick towards the corner. And a twist. And a touchdown from Harry Robertson. Again, the kick was measured. The defence had been left isolated. And Robertson with a safe pair of hands to stick it down and score the try. Not long ago, we were saluting him as a young player who was coming through. He feels almost aged in this company today.
Yeah, last year certainly showed beautiful glimpses of what he can do, and lovely to see that. A trickling grubber just weights it perfectly, does Tristan Saylor. And we saw that so many times when he did get an opportunity at the Brisbane Broncos. His skills, particularly his kicking skills close to the line, and they're on show there, and it's the youngster in Robertson that touches down another try scorer.
The problem here for Salford is this, it doesn't get better, does it? Those Salford fans knew when they arrived here today it was going to be a torrid afternoon. But if Saints keep their focus, it gets worse, because tiredness sets in with those young limbs in the second half, the conditioning that these St Helens players have. And he knows it's a rough afternoon here, Paul Rowley, the coach.
Well, and I think it's probably, don't need to wait until the second half. It's probably the back end of this half as well. It's going to be testing for the youngsters. We see Percival line up here again from the sideline.
Toughest kick of the day, I think this, isn't it, for Mark Percival? And looks as though he's got the range, and he's got his rhythm, and over it goes. 4 out of 5, and when Mark Percival is turning 4 into 6 as regularly as it is, then it just gets worse and worse for the Red Devils.
Yeah, it almost seems like that scoreboard, when they're 6-pointers, not 4, it skips out pretty quickly. Young Robertson there, again, a brilliant year from him when he had the opportunity last year.
Let's go.
Scored his first ever try at Huddersfield. It was the only try he scored last year. Say only, he only played 9 times, and he was eye-catching in many other regards, but he's now doubled his St Helens senior tally. If you look at his academy record, Harry Robertson, it is prolific.
Salford, stay with me. Stay, Joe. Joe. No, go on.
Clark. Batchelor carts it forward.
Off that ball, Salford! Find us, John!
Great start to the defensive set here from Salford until this penalty here.
Tried to ride the first one, lads. We've stayed
Just when you start to see some moments from them, players on their back, slowing that ruck down.
You again on the 10 as well.
And just an easy penalty given away there.
Well,
St Helens roll down the pitch.
They don't need yards gifted to them, do they, St Helens? And they have on several occasions been gifted yards with restarts and penalties. Salford again just struggling to get possession back, but they are going to have a rare moment with the ball. And a rare start to a 6 if they win this scrum, which the balance of averages suggests they should do. Then they actually start a set within sight of the halfway line. Never mind the opposition goal line. At start of the halfway line is on tape.
That'll certainly be welcomed there, and it was Gatcliffe. Great contact up under the ball. Just probes it out and puts his team in a terrific position here.
Shot clock off. Ball, Jack. Out. Right edge.
Offside.
Tristan.
And that'll help.
Tristan, you got earlier.
Well, they're cheering that, the Salford fans. That's the biggest win of the day. Getting possession and then winning a penalty. The best they've had so far.
Keep coming.
And this is where probably the best opportunity presents itself, heading into some good ball territory. If they can get to the end of this, perhaps score, perhaps complete even.
Here's Bullock, who is used to this level of competition. Little step neat from Kai Morgan. 3 tackles to go for Salford, 10 metres away from that line. Little step and go again.
Stand, tackle 4, Joliet.
Connell to his feet. Bullock again with a charging, challenging effort. 1 to go. What can Salford make of this? Here they are with Yates at dummy half, throws it left, little grubber into that in-goal area, and I tell you what, Lomax had to be sharp there to snub out the danger.
And it was a brilliant kick there. They had numbers on the left-hand side. It was Morgan, put a little grubber back on the inside, and a terrific chase from Connell. Doesn't give Johnny Lomax any option but to force that dead. And again, a completion and a repeat set for them.
Shot clock was counting down there. Well, St Helens have not had this to deal with so far in the game. Being starved of possession for a second successive set.
And no doubt Coach Wellens will be almost encouraging of this. It's always great to get the first round win, but you want to see your team under pressure. You want to see their line defence.
Well, Harrison Hope has taken a heavy bang here, and he doesn't look too healthy at the moment.
Find us, come on, Saints.
The young Salford prop. And if there's anything else that Salford really don't need, it's a player injured. Reminder, they only started with 16.
Not when you're carrying one less on the bench, not even an 18th man here this evening. Every player's health and ability to get on this pitch is crucial. So we see Knowles go to the air.
Up and down it comes, and felt well. We know about his prowess under the high ball, don't we? He was never likely to spill that at either end of the field. He's got form.
Well, he's picked out Kyle Felt, one of the best aerial competitors in the game. I'm not sure they're going to have a lot of success up against him this evening. Might want to recheck the plan on that.
Like we say, Salford hoping to be back, to be picking a full-strength team against Leeds next week, who've got something to prove after their defeat today. But then Hull KR away, Castleford away, the form they seem to be in with that game at Hull KR the other night, and Huddersfield at home and Wigan away. That's a tough run of fixtures. They'll need everybody available.
Outside.
Kicked away by Wellsby. Safely caught Fitzgerald.
Stanley's backed himself into that. Hold. Hold. Wait. Wait.
Bardell Wells waiting to come charging onto this. Former St Helens Academy youngster Bardell Wells, and we did see a glimpse of him in that game against Wigan last year when he performed admirably. Fitzgerald coming off the bench, coming off the wing rather.
Good. Move out of there. Find the tenders.
Here's Yates. Confirmation, by the way, that Harrison Hope has gone off for an HIA, so we'll wait and see if he comes back again. Wellesby with the return, looking to attack right from there. Felt just swats away the first attempted tackle.
Time in.
Yeah, and it was an early kick there that was terrific meters-wise, almost a 40-20. Instead, they shift it back through the middle of the park, a little bit hollow in that kick chase. Allows St Helens and Kyle Felt with a big fend as they get themselves rolling again.
Oh, good short pass up the line, and Wormsley Dower's giving it away, and it's Bardell Wells who comes away with it, and Salford looking to be adventurous. Cohen.
Move together, Saints.
And there he is, Bardell Wells, just gets in the road. Wormsley already looked to offload multiple times this evening, finds himself in the right place, and tips on, wants the momentum.
Chan put down on tackle 2. Yates is rolling in there to dummy half again. It's battered forward. A test. A rare test.
Together, Saints, 10 metres.
Bullock still going. Coming back towards the middle with Bardell Wells again.
For Curtis.
2 plays. And Salford get points on the board here. Find some way of just denting this St Helens pride. It's a high tackle.
Rides up, Mark. Catch him in, rides up. Curtis, Curtis!
And it's all getting a little heated. It's a Salford penalty on the end of this.
Yeah, it was Percival that rushed up, trying to shut down defensively.
I don't need you either, all right?
Caught him above the shoulder by the look, and a little bit of push and shove to follow.
Go then.
Gatcliffe with the tap and the run. And he's given Salford the platforms to start from here. 10 metres out, 5 plays to go. Can they conjure something here? Moving left, but the ball slips through the hands of Cohen. And picked up by Wellesby. And Wellesby looking to respond. So disappointing.
Yeah, certainly disappointing in the first play of that set. And they'd had multiple sets building. Almost starting to see small moments of opportunity start to arise for them, but instead they find themselves again in defence.
Clark with a dummy, and off he goes, and he has support here. And Knowles, with elbows and knees pumping, will run in for his second try of the afternoon. St Helens get up and running again, and it's 32 points to 0 now.
And only moments ago it was Salford attacking 10 metres out of the St Helens try line. And only in a matter of moments, it's Morgan Knowles streaks away to find his second of the evening and his second of the season. Already up with his record in 2024, as we see there. It was Cohen that put it down. A brilliant break through the middle of the field. It's been tempting to do that, and that will open itself up more and more as the evening goes on. As we see defensive players left on the ground, mark is not set. And when opportunities arise like that, forwards love pushing on that. Simple tries. It was Fitzgerald, could do nothing about it, coming from the other wing.
Yeah, as Courtney says, Morgan Knowles has scored as many tries in 32 minutes of 2025 as he scored in the entirety of 2024. And Mark Percival is happy to just keep banging them over. This will put them back at a point a minute. 34-0 with very nearly 34 minutes gone.
You see the coaching staff, as we mentioned earlier, not too many smiles. They themselves would have loved a more competitive game. As we see there, the push support in numbers, both sides of the ruck pushing. And Fitzgerald, a gallant attempt, but Morgan Knowles was too far gone. They pushed their score to 34-0 with 6 minutes to go.
Chat going on there. Lee Briers, of course, alongside the coach, Paul Wellens. He's a new addition to that coaching staff.
First, off the ball!
Having himself arrived back from Australia
wait, lads,
in the off-season.
Go on. Lucas, clear that ruck! Finley off the ball!
Just wonder what the conversation is about interchanges and the way they play players in the second half, whether players are just rested a little here with quite clearly the job done. Take the most ridiculous Salford optimist to suggest that there is still a competition to be had here. But I just wonder whether St Helens just try to move things around a little more in the second half in terms of players on and off the field, Courtney.
Well, potentially, but I think that's something that will only cross their minds later in the second half. We know that last season they were injury plagued at times. So we see a knock-on called on Robertson out on this right-hand edge. So obviously there is a win coming their way, absolutely no doubt here this evening. But you don't want that to be blemished with injuries to big key players. At the same time, you want game time under their belt. Face Castleford next week.
I remember a game at Bradford at the old Valley Parade when Bradford Bulls were at Valley Parade against St Helens a few years back. We're going a few years back now. Courtney, a long time. You won't remember this. You're far too young. But when Ian Millward was coach of St Helens, and he actually played in the second half for a good spell with only 12 players on the pitch, he took one of his players off, which was an interesting tactic.
Stay with us, Matty, stay!
Well, and you just might see that. I mean, sometimes when that occurs, people question sportsmanship, as we see St Helens drive Chan back.
Play the ball sideways, you're facing the side.
And fair enough, they're called up for an incorrect play the ball. Very little attempt there from Chan after he was dominated in the tackle to get to his feet and to stay square. And it's moments like those are so costly and just invite St Helens in to add to their already 34-0 scoreline.
So St Helens with Lees.
Move, Josh! Square up! Hold! Hold!
This is Clark.
None of it!
Walmsley. Rampaging.
Find us, come on, come on!
We've seen him do that against much more experienced defences than this, so no shame in that. And quick hands, and almost an interception from Murray on that far side, but it has led to a zero tackle and given St Helens perfect position again here. Little ball popped over the top, Batchelor helps it on its way, and he's hungry for more, is the young fella. Robertson with his second. Referee points the finger. 38 points to nil with a kick to come.
And again, just rewind to that error of Chan. And St Helens were gifted possession inside the 30 metres. And they've literally gone left touch line to right touch line to put Robertson in for his second. So we see Paul Rowley there. I'd love a penny for his thoughts. There was the infringement. It was probably a try-saving touch there from Fitzgerald, but Murphy scurried across the face of the defensive line. A couple of fens, a little basketball tip over the top from Saylor, and Robertson, the youngster, goes in for his second of the evening.
So this is going to be the most difficult kick of the night for Mark Percival. Robertson just one eye for scoring there, hasn't he? There's never any question of looking at the man on his outside.
Yeah, Kyle Felt was getting none of that.
So Mark Percival pondering this. About a minute and a half remaining. Well, he started it wide right, and if anything it went further wide, so he won't be pleased to see that one again. But 5 out of 7, 38 points to 0 as a result of Harry Robertson's second try of the night.
Yeah, and as we see here was that touch from Fitzgerald. Gave them a 6 again, restart. They didn't need the remaining 5. Murphy fending off left, right and centre. And a lovely finish. So we see only seconds left remaining in this first half. Is it enough time? Will St Helens go in yet again?
No, go on, you can't that. Matty, leave it.
Well, they'll get a full set here.
Move, come on, hold right.
Clark.
Go 2, you're good, Ben, you're good.
Warms his paw in the ground.
Third, off the ball, Josh.
Got him round the ankles.
Go third, good
Good effort
response,
from
Josh.
the man below. Here's Knowles.
40, Aki out. Right.
So 2 plays left in this set.
Go 4.
Clark goes off again. Shrugs off again, one defender, but finds 2 more between the pair of them. He's sandwiched.
They're stuck in, tackle 5. Go 5.
Let's
Leave,
play.
Daz.
Wellesby doesn't so much stick it high as sticks it long and looking for a bounce that would bring it back, but it goes the wrong way from his point of view. And it's survival from Salford. Tap back on the 20. And they'll play out this last few seconds. They hope with ball in hand here.
Off the ball, Morgan.
It was a risky leave there from Connell at the back, wasn't it? With already 38 points on the board.
Chip and chase from Bullock. I don't think he's performed many of those in his career. He was a winger once upon a time.
Not sure that's in the job description.
Well, that is the half-time hooter that sounds in the background. Salford were looking for damage limitation. The damage at time looked to be unlimited when St Helens went on that splurge of point scoring between the 5th and 14th minute, when they racked up 22 points in just 9 minutes. Salford have managed to slow things down a little since then, but St Helens so far ahead, as you would expect when you saw the relative team sheets before the day began. For St Helens, it's all about keeping focus now, isn't it, for what remains of the game, to score as many points as they can. And for Salford's point of view, it's just trying to keep a hold somehow, try and keep in some kind of a competitive nature in the next 40 minutes.
Yeah, and I think while it looked probably terrible by the look of the scoreline, there were moments where Salford were in it. As we see the fans there, they'll be looking forward to a second half coming up, not too far away.
You can enjoy every single game live right here on Sky Sports.
And that's a great shot there. Great tackle!
This is getting fiery now. Magic Mikey strikes again.
Individual brilliance from a special player in Bevan French. Strap yourselves in. It's going to be a blockbuster.
Rugby league, truly the greatest sport on the planet.
So exciting, isn't it? Back again, 2025. We get back to our habits on Thursday nights, Friday nights and Saturdays and Sundays, and we're off to Huddersfield tomorrow. Huddersfield tomorrow, of course. Sunday afternoon against Warrington. Tom Burgess playing for Huddersfield these days. Big signing up against Big Sam, the Warrington coach. Then we roll into round 2, Wakefield against Hulkingston Rovers on Thursday night. What a start that Wakefield have had with that win against Leeds today. And then Warrington against Catalan, which is going to be a bruising affair, I'm sure. Catalan with points to prove after their defeat at this weekend. Hull with an eye-catching win at Catalan. They're up against Wigan on Friday night as well. And on Saturday, Salford against Leeds. They'll be hoping to have a much better lineup for that one than they have today. Castleford against St Helens also on Saturday. And it all rounds off on Sunday afternoon with Leigh against Huddersfield on Sky Sports Plus as well. Well, here at St Helens, this is the way it looks at half-time. St Helens 38, Salford Red Devils 0. You'd have to say that some stages in that first half, you thought it might have been a lot worse than that, but St Helens just racking up the 7 tries in that first half and looking very good for it at times as well, Courtney.
Yeah, certainly the first 5 minutes looked a little promising for Salford as they dug their heels in, but it didn't take too long until we saw Knowles barge over to open the scoring. And it was from this point onwards that it got a little bit dicey for Salford. It was Tristan Saylor saw the opportunity to shift it out wide, and we saw the left-hand edge through Percival push downfield, and it was all too easy. A play on, and then Lewis Murphy, double try scorer against West Hull in the Cup last week. He got his first of the evening. Flowing on again, Tristan Saylor, we mentioned him at the start of the game. Someone to look out for. A wonderful recruit. Not many opportunities for him with the Broncos down under, and he went across. And it was this one here, all too easy. Curtis Sirinen, we haven't seen him since Magic Round last year. He crossed for his first. And Robertson, the youngster, he added to the tally. Kyle Felt getting none of it. And it was brilliant vision here, Darryl Clark, and great push support, both sides up through the middle of the field. And Morgan Knowles matches his 2 tries of 2024 already in the first half here at Totally Wicked this evening. And as we were about to wrap up the first half, was Lewis Murphy, bounced across field, bumped many off, and another push. Kyle Felt, no doubt he wants to be on the scorecard, but Robertson took it for himself. He bags his double already for this evening. Percival, 5 conversions from those 7 attempts, and I think that possession stat there says it all.
Well, it's not a bad completed stat, is it, from Salford? The problem is they've only had 12 compared to St Helens 21. But the meter, look at that meters, the difference in meters and the extra tackles. It's just about an extra 7 sets that Salford have had to defend in that first half with all those tackles.
And it's the missed tackles, isn't it? It's the missed tackles that are equaling the meters, which are equaling the tries, and then turning it straight back over to St Helens.
Well, what does the second half bring here? I just wonder what the messages are at half-time, but whether you're a St Helens fan or a Salford fan here tonight, you would have had an expectation of something similar to this before the night began. And those Salford fans desperately hoping that the deal goes through this next week so they can have a proper team to watch, or a full-strength senior team to watch next week. At the moment, they'll just be hoping their youngsters can do battle again in this next 40 minutes and save some face. Full second half commentary is coming up very shortly. When they were beaten 96-16 by Bradford back in June 2000. So it's a long way. You'd hope that that isn't achieved today. You don't like to see things like that happen, do you? So you do hope that that is something that isn't achieved today. But you never know.
You never know. But I do think there were enough glimpses from Salford in that first half that will reduce them hopefully a little bit more. Certainly not let St Helens get up to that record of 96. And no doubt a stern word from the coaching staff, Paul Rowley, and of course the academy and reserve coaching staff in and around this evening with the number of players that they have on show. And regardless of the score, so many of those players, you cannot deny what a special occasion it is for them, regardless of the outcome, regardless of the score. It'll be one to remember.
Well, the draw's been taking place, by the way, for the next round of the Rugby League Challenge Cup, the Betfred Challenge Cup, and there's one or two eye-catching ties in there. Salford will be up against Championship side Bradford. And if they don't get things fixed by then, it is 4 weeks away, but if they don't get things fixed again, Bradford might fancy themselves of pulling off another big scalp, having beaten Castleford in the last round. The holders Wigan are at home to Hull, and the team we're watching today, the other team, St Helens, at home to Leeds in the Challenge Cup.
A couple of very tasty fixtures there. So we've seen in the last few years previously, Bradford certainly love a cup game, don't they? Knocking off Leeds a couple of years ago, and then of course leaving Castleford in their wake.
But our focus very much on the Super League here this afternoon. If you are just joining us, if you're looking at that scoreline and thinking 38-0 and you've not been following this story in the build-up, Salford selecting a side today that reflects the fact that they cannot pick a full-strength team because of salary cap issues due to the fact that their new ownership has not been yet ratified. There's some rights and wrongs in there as to whether it could have been or should have been a stronger team, but that's for another day. What we do know is that it's a team almost full of youngsters, 8 debutants in their 16, because they've only named 16, not 17. And St Helens at full strength, with debutants of their own, but from the other end of the spectrum. New signings, Carl Felt, Lewis Murphy and Tristan Saylor, all making a mark or two in that first half. And St Helens dominating in defence again, without the ball at the start of this second period, but just making it very, very hard here, Courtney, for this Salford side to escape the prison of their own goal line.
Yeah, and it looks very familiar from the first half, doesn't it? Just an absolute suffocation from the St Helens defensive line. We saw at half-time the metres, it's more than 700 metres difference between them already. And that looks to potentially continue as we start the second half.
I'm reminded at half-time as well that the half-time score here is 38-0 for St Helens. They beat the amateurs of West Hall 38-0 after 80 minutes last week, so I'm sure the community club of West Hull are looking on and feeling very proud of what they achieved against a similar Saints team just a week ago. Here's Wellesby. Lomax helping it on its way, taken in by Wingfield. Off the interchange bench. Clark. Little dummy shown by Saylor, and seeking a gap and finding a gap, and this is another debut try. Kyle Felt diving in at the corner. Well, we're going to have another look at this. The video referee wants to get involved, but Felt, I'm pretty sure, is confident he's scored this. Jack Smith says he thinks he has. Let's hear from the video referee. Is this another Saints try?
Okay, the live decision to try on field. We're just looking to confirm he does stay in the field of play, so we can play on from this point. You can see legs are in at this point, legs are in. It's momentum that's carrying him over to the line there. We'll play it through, and you can see the ball is grounded at that point. Thank you, I've made my decision.
Well, it's worth a check, wasn't it? But knowing the pedigree of Kyle Felt and his ability in that kind of situation, you'd have been surprised if it wasn't all neat and tidy in terms of limbs. And the try is going to be confirmed on the big screen here. And St Helens immediately punching into the 40s in the early stages of this second half. Kyle Felt, a debutant scorer.
And we only mentioned earlier that it was Robertson try-scoring double in the first half. He's giving Kyle Felt none of it, but only 3 minutes into this half. He looked back inside there for a moment, decided to pin his ears back on. It was Connell who had a decent effort, but Felt, the experienced veteran, he gets down early, knows in these greasy conditions, get on the floor, get those ankles up and slide your way in for your first Super League try for St Helens. Very much looking forward to watching this man in action as the year progresses. St Helens, they needed points last year, didn't they? And they've brought in the second highest try scorer in the NRL as Percival takes it from the sideline.
Puts it wide. Not quite got the angles this time, but 42 points to 0. Yeah, I think St Helens fans would have been disappointing when the jungle drum suggested that Tommy Makinson was leaving the club and going to Catalan, but when they saw the quality of the player that they were signing in his place, they'd have been more than content, wouldn't they?
Absolutely. And I think, you know, he's an experienced campaigner. Absolutely. But it was his best return last year with 23 tries in the NRL. So he's certainly not past it. So we see St Helens bring it back.
Go on.
And he's a Townsville lad, isn't he? Townsville born. That's not too far away from your roots. Would I be right in saying?
Yeah, correct. Country Queenslander, and he'll certainly be feeling it over here. He's left the beautiful warmth of Townsville for a cold, dreary night at St Helens.
Well, nobody locals complaining at the moment, Courtney, because it's quite mild at the moment from our point of view. It has been chillier. This is Bell, and swing into the arms of Saylor, and back it goes to Clark, and Clark's already licking his lips at the prospect of the gap he can see out wide, and Robertson is prospering on the back of that, pops it back on the inside. Lomax now, head down, oh, just bounces out a couple of tackles that didn't quite happen in the way they were designed. And Johnny Lomax is the latest try scorer, the 9th of the night so far from St Helens, and they just keep rocking and rolling towards this very sizable win.
Yeah, and there they are, the coaching staff again. We mentioned they're not up and about. They know the realistic nature of this evening. Again, falling off tackles, we saw that as a pattern in the first half. Terrific footwork here from Robertson to get on the outside. And I'm not sure Johnny Lomax could really believe he got through there, as we see Saylor bump out of one. As they shifted out to that right-hand side. Robertson potentially thought he was in for his third of the evening, but it's captain Johnny Lomax. He'll take one too. So we see the score push out, 46-0 here. As you mentioned earlier, point a minute at the moment for St Helens.
Yeah, still a distance away from that record score. They'll have to be unbelievably prolific in this second half to get there, but it is not beyond the realms of possibility. Are we going to see 2 record scores in a weekend, in the first weekend of the Super League? First of all, sticking it over, 48 points to 0 now. From the sublime to the ridiculous, 0-1 on a Friday to something very big here on a Saturday evening.
And you can just see the disconnect in the defensive line from Salford, no doubt under incredible fatigue. It certainly is a level up from reserve grade for many of these players.
Big challenges, bigger challenges to come for St Helens. Castlereagh next Saturday, where it all starts, and Wakefield away, and OKR, Warrington and Catalan. So it's a tough little opener from St Helens' point of view. And it would have been even tougher, you know, against a full-strength Salford team. We've mentioned it a couple of times in the first half. They were beaten here once. They only won on Golden Point on the other time these two teams meet St Helens. So could have been a really tricky affair for them today. Anything but, as it transpires.
Yeah, and you have to really feel for those Salford players who typically sit in this first 17, sitting at home, potentially tuning in, and for them wrapped up in the turmoil along with the fans.
Murphy dabs it down. I'll tell you what, Murphy's on the chase here, burning a bit of grass beneath those swift feet as he headed downfield. And as a result of that, it means that Salford starting close to their own line and getting a little closer.
Yeah, and you can see Salford bodies still struggling to get back in behind the line there, support their teammates, doing it really tough, coming in and out of their 10.
Ball tackle's gone, just beyond the 10-metre mark. Chan was one of the slowest back there, so maybe he's picked up a little bit of energy in that rest. Here comes the 6th. There's the kick, which Murphy's not willing to let go towards the touchline. He wants a little bit of a run here, looking inside, stepping, and actually having to take the tackle. Lomax, and now Percival. Typical style of his, just running as hard as he can at the line and getting an offload away, which helps matters. Felt down the middle, has support from Wellesby, and Saylor's in again. Second of the night for Tristan Saylor. We're into double figures of tries scored now by St Helens. That's the 10, and they passed the half-century mark as well.
And it's a raise of the bat for St Helens as they pass the 50. Brilliant support play through the middle that we are so familiar with in Jack Wellesby. But it was here, the offload was Percival that managed to get one away. It was Felt, pinned his ears back, broke the tackle. Wellesby through the middle. And support on the outside again from Tristan Saylor. Shows his speed, not even opening it up there. And they put another one on the board. And Salford, they're really up against it in that 96 record. I just wonder if we'll push it close here this evening.
Well, 30 minutes to play, just under. They'll have to score another 40-odd points in that 30 minutes, so...
If they keep scoring under the black dot, making it easy for Percival. And it's 6 at a time as he's just slotted this one over to push it out again to 54-0.
Again, there's no joy being drawn from this by that coaching box. They'll be satisfied at their side. The old adage, you can only beat what's in front of you, and that's exactly what they are doing. They're doing their job very well, St Helens, here tonight, no doubts about that, but there'll be a lot of joy drawn from what they're up against. There will be questions asked, no doubt, in the days ahead.
I think given the situation, it's so difficult to ask questions of many of these players.
Oh, you can't question the application of those Salford players out there, can you? At all.
It's the question of the staff, of the club, of the administration, and of the RFL. This needs to be fixed. It needs to be fixed quickly, because Salford can produce exciting rugby league, entertaining rugby league that we all love to view.
Move!
So fingers crossed, that's on the horizon very, very soon as we see Rowley in the stands. He'll be thinking the same, no doubt.
Move! Hands away!
Here's Delaney. Here's Clark. Lomax right up to the line and through the line and has support from Percival, who's got Murphy in his wake, and Murphy's stepping back on the inside and dodging and weaving and gets the pass away. Salford's defence, well, it's knocked on. Salford's defence recovering in time, and in their desperation to keep it alive there, St Helens forced into a mistake, Wingfield knocking on.
And a brilliant scramble there to save the try. You see players just coming back in numbers. It was Fitzgerald who got involved, forced the error, and Wingfield coming off the bench this evening
Just wait, Jack, just wait, Jack.
denies a try.
Hold Saints! Shot block off, ball, let's go, Jack. Out!
Led in by Jack
clean
Gatcliffe,
pick up.
and here comes Salford again with that thankless task. It's all right having a ball in hand, but
Stand!
there's a wall of white and red coming their way every time they have ball in hand. And again, they've been nowhere near the halfway line so far in the second half, have they?
James, stay with us, tackle two.
No, not as yet. As you can see there, even in offence, the line is so condensed. No one even outside the scrum line for them.
Tackle three, stay James,
And to barrel up through the middle of this forward pack of St Helens,
That really stays quick.
that's a task in itself.
Four, out James, does! Find the line. Tackle four, go.
Couple of plays in this set. Here's Bullock.
Five, move Kurt!
And they're forced to kick here.
Five. Outside 20, inside 40.
Decent boot. Wellesby catches. And St Helens are going to start very close to the halfway line, if not beyond it.
Move ball down!
And a great completed set there. Not too many metres, but got the kick away and a lovely kick chase. If they can just start to build a little bit more pressure defensively, numbers in the tackle and sequencing their contact, will go a long way.
Third, Joe off the ball!
Wingfield bounces up. St Helens carry on. Clark. Saylor again with the pace. The gap was there. He licked his lips and takes full advantage. And Tristan Saylor goes sailing in. A hat-trick on his debut. A dream start. Possibly unfortunate circumstances, but the history books will tell you it was quite a first game in Super League for Tristan Saylor.
Yeah, and regardless of who's in front of you, it's not too many times you score a treble in your career. And still a very special occasion for Tristan Saylor. We see plenty of smiles on his face. And it was markers down again. Clark took a little bit of a run out, but Saylor got on the outside of the defence and hardly even had to pin his ears back. He did the hard work into the line and headed for the corner. It's all too easy for Tristan Saylor this evening.
I was going to say, I hope somebody pats him on the back and says, Tristan, son, it's not this easy every week, you know.
Yeah, he'll be getting false impressions of what is to come across 2025, but in the meantime, nice to see he's enjoying it.
Possible with his latest attempt. Percival keeping his focus here. Strikes it well enough. How's that looking? Very good. Very good. Well, sort that one. 8 out of 11. 60 points to nil. They are closing in on one record. Their biggest ever win against Salford in the Super League was 66-16 back in 2001. I think that chances of that being beaten tonight are pretty high.
And there's Sailor's 3 tries that we've seen this evening, all showing the young man's ability, his acceleration. He spots a hole and he certainly takes full advantage of it.
But more to come, undoubtedly. Percival.
First. Out now, Jack! Finding your square markers.
24 big minutes still to play. And soon
2. Out to Yaki! Find the line, stay Joe.
Clark at his heels. Wingfield with a little bit of energy and verve, Delaney rather, with energy and verve as he takes it in. Bounce away by Sailor. Rounds up and has another go, and tries to run through the pack of defenders that are there, but they manage to hold on.
Held! Release! Tackle 4, find the 10. Go. You good, Finn? You good?
Wellesby springs it wide. Robertson can't keep a hold of that. It was fired at him like a bullet and hits his shoulder and goes to ground.
Salford, ready on the scrum.
One of very few errors from St Helens here this evening, but brilliant reward for Salford.
Shot clock on.
As we see here, line defence were up in the face of Robertson, but it was the defence to start that set. Multiple players in the tackle, working hard on the floor, slowing them play the ball down, and resulted in an error at the back end of the set. They just need more of that more often. Allow themselves at least a chance to push over halfway and into good ball territory.
Well, the Salford fans, to their credit, are keeping that noise going.
Let's stay quick, guys.
They are creating a good atmosphere at their end.
Move, send the red line.
Look at the energy coming up. Their side are being beaten here by 60 points to 0. They're still not 100% certain they will have a club at the end of the week, but they are still enjoying themselves here and determined to keep their players in the knowledge that they are right behind them.
It's one of the best things about the Super League in the UK, the supporters and the fans, absolute best in the world. And regardless, as you say, regardless of the scoreline, they are in it, they are committed, and they'll come out the other side with their club.
It's looking on the inside for Bardell Wells. He's taking them closer, but they've run out of plays. They've only got one to go. Yates, the young Welsh international, spinning it left. There's the kick from Morgan up in the air, and again a man whose pedigree very much goes before him. Always a favourite to take that, and he gets a penalty as well. Oh, it's kicking off here. Kyle felt not happy with the way he was dealt with there. He's getting angry, Courtney.
Well, it was contact in the air. Kyle felt leapt to that ball, and it was contact. I think it was the young oncoming Cohen that took him out in the air, landed a little awkwardly, and we know in this day and age the outside backs going aerial, so crucial. We try and keep them safe, can be so dangerous. Any wonder he's got up a little bit miserable.
This Salford Reds Rising is absolutely booming out from those Salford supporters. They have got a reputation away from home for always adding to occasions and atmospheres, the Salford fans.
Time back on.
Wellesby finds touch.
Here's that replay here, and it was just came through, no attempt to go for the ball. Perhaps eyes were on the ball, but still dangerous.
Don't go back in.
Delaney up and plays. Clark coming left. Inside ball for Bell. He of the springed heels and the dancing steps, and trying to get an arm free, and somehow smuggles that ball away. Clark trying to just step his way around. He offloads as well. It's getting risky here.
Knocked on by Saints.
Knock on.
And after all that, there was plenty of scruffiness about it. It was Bardell Wells in and amongst it, continued to put pressure. And the first captain's challenge of the evening.
The on-field rule is a knock-on off Saints. Saints are claiming that they've been tackled without the ball.
Well, you heard that. Let's hear from the video referee.
Okay, St Helens are challenging the ruling of an on-field knock-on, claiming there's been a tackle about the ball. So we'll play it on from this point, so we can see James Bettle offloads the ball. See, that comes out backwards. That's missed by Clark, so we'll play on from this point. So we're going to play on from now, see what happens. So is there anybody tackle about the ball, which is what the review is. So that's backwards again. It's a contest at that point, both going towards the ball. You can see both players are diving towards the ball. So at that point, no, that's a genuine contest for the ball, that, and you can see actually Wellesby steps across him as well. You can see there's movement from Wellesby also laterally. So I'm happy to play on from this point. And then you can see it's backwards at that point. And then it's pulled forward on the floor. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Well, I'm sure the referees are loving his captain's challenge because he doesn't know how proved they're getting the decisions right on the field, doesn't it? But it's a challenge unsuccessful. And it will be back to the original Jack Smith view of it all, that it was a knock-on. And therefore, Salford get head and feed, and all things being equal, will have possession and have a chance for a set of 6 inside this St Helens half.
We haven't seen a lot of it, as we see here, the chaos. So he said Jack Smith, he gets it right, even amongst everything and the traffic that was going on there in that play. He gets the call right, as we see Salford from the scrum push out to the left-hand side. Not many opportunities for them this evening, but we did see earlier when they could create a repeat set. It did give them a chance and start to look like a glimpse of hope for a score here at Totally Wicked.
There's Bardell Wells carried in, 3 St Helens defenders doing a job on him. Finn Yates up there at dummy half again, just beckoning forward his teammates. Morgan gets it on its way. It's coming further right, but Saints' defence is robust, as it has been whenever the challenge has been there so far tonight. One play left in the set. Yates is in at dummy half, throws it back in. It's Gatcliffe with a kick, but it bounces up into Wellesby's hands, but it's a late tackle, and it will be a penalty. Surinam in late. So Salford, do they go for 2? I think the Salford fans are urging them to go for 2. Other than the pride of getting off that 0 mark, there is absolutely no value in that. So which way do they go? Surely they tap and run. Surely they tap and run. That's exactly what they're going to do. And the charge is led by Bullock. And Yates is in there, and the roar from those Salford fans goes up a notch or 2 on the volume. Yates tries to smuggle his way over out of dummy half. Held up. They'll go back 10. Salford get another go. 4 more tackles. Range is deeper this time. It's Morgan who sends it back to Gatcliffe, and they're looking right. St Helens being tested in defence. They'll welcome this test of their defensive mettle if they can come up unscathed in terms of conceding points. Bardell Wells. Yates jogs back to position. Looking to that left-hand side. They're just flying, Jan flying at the Saints line. But it holds its nerve and it holds its muscle. And this is the last. It's back with Morgan. Was he taken late? Up it goes. Percival comes back down. Yes, he was taken late, because it's another Salford penalty.
And we talk about repeat sets, but again on the back of a penalty, just a little too eager to get at the halves. It was Gatcliffe, the first penalty, and Morgan that receives a bit of a touch-up fractionally late. And another opportunity, third set in a row.
So here they come with a big driving effort. Helliwell, man of massive experience compared to his teammates tonight. Yates going left, hammered in again. Ball goes to ground, scrambled up by Bell.
First knock on off Logan Lagar on the floor. Saints ball.
St Helens get the ball back. Well, heartbreak for Salford.
And it was Lagar on the short ball. And great contact there from the defence of St Helens on the ball. It spews out. And in their third set, just when you thought, and the supporters right behind the sticks thought that could be their chance to get them on the board to remove that zero. It's a turnover, and St Helens again have the ball in hand.
Well, coaching box, I guess, the satisfaction of not having conceded a point still, as Walmsley, in typical style, with a little bit of a rampage, stepped off the mark.
Let's roll that one.
Sailor.
Held! Move! Two! Step back! Go two.
Wellesby has found a channel in which to work, and look who's there, in support, never mind a hat-trick. This is going to be 4. Tristan Sailor, underneath that black dot this time. He sails away, quite literally. 4 tries on the day, and Saints are now at 64.
We mentioned earlier, it's not often players stroll in for a treble, and it's even less frequent when they go in for 4. And what an occasion for Tristan Sailor, as we see here from the scrum. It was Walmsley that pushes through Bardell Wells. And on this next play, it was Tristan Sailor that ran it himself, almost like a front rower. Wingfield off the floor, and Sailor back through the middle. Does it all too easy, and there's the support play that we absolutely love of Wellesby. And I think these two are going to complement each other beautifully this year. Jack Wellesby, first year last year, he wasn't included in the All-Stars team. And I really feel like these two will bounce off each other beautifully this season.
Well, this to equal the record score against Salford by St Helens. Record that stood for 20-odd years. 66 points to 0. 9 out of 12 for Mark Percival. 3 tries in the last 15 minutes for Tristan Sailor.
It's been a big second half for him. And as we know, it was a big release and a reward for their defensive efforts, having to solve the problems that Salford presented them, and that will please Wellens.
I'll stay. Let's go, Jack.
Gatcliffe sticks it high in the air. St Helens offering enthusiasm again.
Tiaki, contact with the head. As he's falling, we caught him in the head.
No card required, just a penalty.
Contact with the head as he's falling.
Jackie Chan will be happy with that.
What a run there from Delaney to bring the ball back. That's some energy, some impact. A wonderful year for him last year.
Box wasn't stay, Logan. Come on, mate, work. Go on.
Swarmington, whose tap and go has taken St Helens 10 metres inside the half. Bell.
2. Move! Find the white line, lads. Tackle 2. Go. Wellesy.
Walmsley.
Square up, mate. 3rd. Out, Logan! Keep coming, Jack. Pull him with you. Go 3rd.
Lomax. Wellesby with a kick that took a deflection. And Salford's ability to regather that. 12 minutes to play.
And an early kick from Welsby. Just got a little bit too excited there. He saw the right-hand defensive edge of Salford push up. Couldn't thread the needle, and it was tidied up nicely by the Salford defence.
Out and square, Matt! Tackle free, stay, James.
Three tackles gone. If anything, they've lost a yard or two here, Salford, because of St Helens' response.
Move, Alex! Tackle 4, square, Johnny!
Found it so difficult when they've been in this position to get any kind of purchase, and again they are losing yards rather than gaining.
Tackle 5, move now!
So when it comes to the kick, they're back inside the 10. The kick pressure is applied.
It's 20.
Bounce eventually kind for Welsby. Inside for Felt. Felt goes searching towards his left-hand side to see how honest the Salford chase has been. Well, if he got the pass away there, Percival might have had a bit of space, but
timing, mate. Come on.
Felt chose to take them on himself. Whitley.
2. Move, Logan. Joe, stay with me on this one.
Just the 2 plays gone. You know is Delaney.
3rd. Out together, Joe. Find his jacket.
Infield up there. Wormsley again, all bustle and effort and just sheer determination and strength.
4. Move, Bojo! Line, tackle 4.
Last 2 plays. Just launched into the hands of Welsby, who shakes off one but can't shake off the other.
Oh, Jack. Ethan, stay out.
It was a high tackle, wasn't it?
It rides up onto his head. We'll be all right. Back we come.
Penalty Saints.
They called it high, and it did catch him high in an attempt to shut it down. And they needed to. There were big numbers out to the right-hand side for St Helens. It was Yates that was slow to retreat. So we see them bring it back centre field. Lomax very vocal.
Lomax, Welsby again, and it's walking day for Percival. Strolling in, his first try of the piece, his first try of this new Super League season, and it is 70 points now for St Helens.
And Johnny Lomax, in the lead up to this try, he lifted his eyes, he saw the opportunity, organised his troops, and with the help of Jack Welsby, puts Percival over in the corner all too easily. So we see the 2 lead runners just absolutely bamboozle the defensive line of Salford, and instead hits Welsby out the back, and there is absolutely nothing on the acreage in front of Percival, and he will go back to convert his own try.
Well, his personal haul is going up with every passing minute, it seems. 9 kicks so far, 1 try now, so 22 points in the Percival points column.
A few more from the sideline, though, second half, which is a nice little challenge for him off the kicking tee.
Oh, what's being said in there? Keep your hearts, keep your minds, keep your bravery. 8 minutes to endure here. In your long and illustrious career, did you ever find yourself on the end of a one-sided scoreline?
Perhaps not on the end of it towards the back end of the game, but certainly to start games, as we see Percival put it to the left of the uprights, unable to convert his own try. But they're difficult times when you're in behind the sticks. Certainly been down early doors in big games, and it's difficult to rally the troops, as we see there.
Ethan Logan,
Percival going in
Joe, make sure
again for the evening.
Make sure.
Well, there's a touch of professionalism, isn't it? He was really annoyed with himself at missing that kick. You know, side are winning 70 points now. He's landed 9 out of 13, but really frustrated. And he's kicking on that last attempt. 8 minutes to play.
Third, don't go into Yaki.
That 96 seems highly unlikely now.
Four, move now, Jack.
Clark, Lomax, dummy, bounces off defenders. Wellesby's involved, Walmsley's involved. Here's Bell. Bell trying to squeeze through a couple. One play to go. St Helens have the line in their sight. Lomax, there's so many numbers over there, so many willing runners, and Batchelor puts himself in the right place at the right time. He gets his first try of this new season. And you're almost needing an abacus now to keep count of this St Helens scoreline.
And for a moment there, I thought St Helens had bombed it. Salford only had 3 players outside the left-hand post. But eventually, they shifted it back. And it was here, short kick-off attempted straight into the breadbasket. But a twist and turn from Clark gets it back, and Batchelor, an easy step off the right foot, and puts himself in to push that scoreline out again. And Percival, he will line up. You mentioned there before he wasn't happy with his previous attempt, and quickly he has the chance to rectify it.
Nine different try scores I make it today. Saylor with 4, Knowles with a couple, Robertson with a couple, Murphy, Surinam, Felt, Lomax, Percival and Batchelor. Very kickable this from Percival's point of view, and the flags are raised to confirm that fact, and it goes to 76 points to 0, and there are still 5 minutes to play.
And with 15 minutes left on the clock, St Helens certainly aren't taking their foot off the throttle. As you mentioned there, 9 different try scorers. I'm sure those who haven't will be lining up. There'll be plenty of push supports from them.
And there's still a willingness to hit that line hard. And there is still a heart amongst those Salford youngsters to try and remain unbreached at that end of the field for the moment. Walmsley.
Out to Bullock! Find us, Jack. Come on, mate. 2.
Here's Clark.
Let's get out there, Finn.
Bell with a burst.
Third off the ball, Salford!
Didn't he have a wonderful 2024 season, Bell?
Play on!
So we see Darryl Clark ordered to play on. Was a Salford player in the ruck.
Held! Release! Tackle 4, red line.
2 left in the set. Wellesby short pass, and galloping through again here goes Delaney, who's cut down bravely but picks himself up and will finish the job, really. Yes, he will. He wanted to get there, and he has got there. Only his second ever St Helens try. There are lots of reasons why those Saints players are wearing big smiles today. And 80 points! 80 points. If there are no more, it'll be at least a point a minute in this game.
And Delaney, who certainly deserves this since coming on off the bench, he certainly had some impact. Run with absolute intensity. And he finds himself busting through a tackle to work his way over. The first try for him this evening. As we see it again here from halfway, just have a look at the intensity that he runs onto that ball. The power, the leg speed, the fend, and the willingness, desire and ability to get back up off the floor and find his way over. Absolutely brilliant. He had an incredible year, a wonderful year for exposure last year. And he sets off 2025 with some serious intent.
Little need for conversation now. Possible 10 out of 14. Steps up, that efficient runner, and over it goes again. He won't be asking for that one back. 11 out of 15, 82 points to nil. It's a scoreline that reflects the nature of these two sides, but it's a scoreline that might resonate down the season in terms of the points difference for both of them as well.
Yeah, and there's certainly no mercy there from Delaney.
Stay, Logan! Stay!
And it's great to see for him personally.
High kick challenges St Helens. They've got the bounce and they've got the ball.
Surrender. Stand, tackle one, stay on the white line. Tiaki in the line, mate.
Is there time for another?
2 feet off the ball.
Penalty for St Helens. Sailor wanted to take it quickly. Well, Courtney, you've had the honour of picking the player of the match today. Who are you going for?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, it's not too often that players get 4 tries in a game. And yes, we know that the defence hasn't been the typical Salford defence, but regardless, Tristan Sailor in his very first game for the Red V, no doubt the fans will be welcoming him with open arms after tonight's performance.
Well, there's still time for more here, but handling a little bit clumsy. So we go into the final 90 seconds with St Helens back in possession from the scrum.
In the middle. It's a scrum. Stay ball. Shot clock on. Yeah. It's a scrum. Numbers in, lads. Shot clock's running. 2, 3, 5, 6. Yeah, Dazzy goes out, mate. Just wait. Fin head in.
Into the final minute.
Shot clock off. Ball, Jack.
Salford will be mighty relieved to hear that hooter sound. And they'll be hoping for what remains of this game. They have the ball in their hands.
Held.
Trying to run the clock down.
Hold. Hold.
Regardless of the time, a brilliant continued energy in the defensive line of St Helens. And it says plenty about their efforts as well this evening.
Move James, Johnny!
For 2 games this weekend, Wigan and Lee and Salford against St Helens have produced 83 points. Who would have imagined before the season began that one of those matches would have had only 1 point and the other one would have had 82? A little bit of footwork from Clark and untidy. It's a knock-on. The referee's whistle blew before the scrum, before the hooter sounded, so there's no appetite. There's no appetite for either. Yeah, referees. I think referees recognised that and thought, what's the point? Blow the whistle, confirm the end of the time. 82 points to nil. St Helens have beaten Salford. When we arrived at the stadium, we already knew the team that Salford were putting out today, and we imagined something like this. What does St Helens pull out of that, Courtney? 82 points to nil. They'll pull out some, no doubt, routines in attack, but what else do they get out of that game?
Well, it's really difficult to pull that apart, to pick it apart, but what you can easily see and mention there at the end, the defensive effort was still there, the efforts in support and the celebrations around their new team.